Tony's Topics. Okay, so what do I want to talk about? The NFL. Man, I know I'm like a little bit late, right? Normally I like talk about it before the games, you know, the Wednesday before the games, and now we're in the postseason, so you think I'd at least get it out by Friday. But I guess maybe I was just too busy watching the NFL to actually talk about the NFL, okay? It was, what a weekend. What a weekend. Okay. So my New England Patriots pulled it out past the Baltimore Ravens, which I expected. I mean, honestly, you know, I actually thought that the Steelers were going to beat the Ravens, and then we'd have to, you know, but it ended up being Baltimore Ravens, and so the Patriots pulled that one out. And honestly, looking back in retrospect, of course I was going to go for the Patriots. Check my videos. I've been talking about the Patriots all year. All right. Next up, let me see here. The Seahawks versus the Carolina Panthers. I was actually scared about this one, right? Because, like, ever since Cam Newton got into that car wreck, it was like that team changed around. They just made a big turnaround, winning, what, like their last 4 games? And then they came into the postseason and beat Arizona. And I know what everybody's going to say. Arizona doesn't have a quarterback. Yes, this is true, but Arizona does have a team. And with that quarterback, that team did go 9-1. So I was just thinking that the remnant of Arizona might be able to pull it out against the, 7-8-1 Panthers? But after that Cam Newton car wreck thing, that team was completely gifted. You know, that team just went into a different mode. They made it into the playoffs because everybody else in their division was weak, but whatever, they made it. You make it, you make it. And then they even won a game. Whoa! So anyway, I was kind of like freaking out. I was like, man, I know, you know, it's just that any given Sunday thing. Any given Sunday. And that's the thing about the NFL. You know, unlike basketball that has a playoff series, best 2 out of 3, best 3 out of 5, you know, best 4 out of 7. In the NFL, if you're just having an off day, it's sad. I think that's kind of what Demaryius Thomas was having. But anyway, we'll get to them. So okay. So next up, let me see here. My Seahawks pulled it out. Yay. The Patriots pulled it out. My Patriots pulled it out. Yay. And then finally, let me see. Who else? Green Bay versus the Cowboys. Wow. Honestly, I would have actually called this game for the Cowboys before it actually happened. And the only reason why I would have done that is because of Green Bay's quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers wasn't injured going into this game, I wasn't going to call it, you know, for Green Bay to win. But at the same time, I knew Aaron Rodgers had like 2 weeks, and whatever his injury wasn't that much or wasn't that bad because he was still able to finish his last game of the regular season and stomp that team out with, I mean, that man was limping around and got 2 touchdowns. Limping! 2 touchdowns! Woo! You know, so I was like, I mean, fear Aaron Rodgers. Now, as far as the rest of Green Bay goes, I really haven't paid attention that much to him. But after Aaron Rodgers plays one of your teams, you never forget that guy. All right, between the accuracy of the throws, the running to get away, that guy comes to beat people. So anyway, I was going to go with the Cowboys over Green Bay just because Aaron Rodgers was hurt. A healthy Aaron Rodgers versus the Cowboys. I mean, everybody knows the Cowboys' defense was suspect all year. And everybody knows, really, looking at the regular season, the Cowboys' position could have really been Philadelphia. If Philadelphia would have won that second game against the Cowboys, I mean, but anyway, it goes. The Cowboys pulled it out and they made it into the postseason. Probably, I guess, one of their best seasons that they've had in a while. And I'm not going to lie, the Cowboys' offense is sick. DeMarco Murray is the best running back in the game, you know, or arguably at least, compared to, Le'Veon Bell or whatever. But anyway, DeMarco Murray's sick. Des Bryant is an excellent receiving option. You know, he's a tight receiving option. I mean, I guess the Cowboys might want for better on the receptions and stuff, but the bottom line is the Cowboys' offense is amazing. But their defense was suspect all year. So they got as far as they could get. You know, and I think somebody was saying earlier, like, why did the Seahawks get the bye and not the Cowboys? And then I was like, the Cowboys beat the Seahawks. But the Seahawks beat Green Bay. And let me see here, what else? The Cowboys were having issues with Philly at the last minute. The Seahawks are the returning champs. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe the tiebreakers. Of course, the tiebreakers calculate out the individual mathematical differences. Whatever. Seahawks got the, first place seed. Whatever. Okay? I mean, honestly, if you couldn't win it all, then you shouldn't win it all. I mean, whatever. I mean, if you gotta catch a nice game to make it in, then maybe you shouldn't be there anyway. Or an easy game to get in deep into the playoffs, maybe you shouldn't be there anyway. But okay. So moving back, I digress. So the Cowboys died. It's sad, but I mean, honestly, if the Cowboys invest in their defense, they're just disgusting. Because DeMarco Murray is the second coming of Emmitt Smith. All right, that guy is gross. All right, good grief. How powerful he is for his size is like ridiculous. But anyway, okay, so that wraps the Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers is coming. Green Bay's coming for my Seahawks. Yeah. Anyway, let's finish up the last game. So the Broncos, the upset of the weekend, because everybody knows that was an upset. I mean, the Broncos losing to the Colts. I was about to say John Elway, right? Now, so Peyton Manning was hurt. Okay. Demaryius Thomas was having a bad day dropping the ball, and that's all it was. It was a bad day because he smashed all season long. So, when it came to reception. So he had a bad day. Stuff like that happens. Really wasn't paying much attention to C.J. Anderson in the running game. Not that the Broncos really run it all that much, but I really wasn't, I really haven't been focusing. I really wasn't going for the Broncos to win this year. But as the playoffs loomed, everybody had to have respect for them. I mean, they had like a top 5 they had a top 5 offense and the number 3 defense after the regular season. Everyone was scared of the Broncos, okay? But make no doubt, there's also the concept of it's not just getting a win, it's who you beat. And so it just kind of seemed like sometimes during the regular season, whenever the Broncos ran into a really tough team, that they kind of maybe got cracked a little bit. I mean, the Seahawks, we cracked them. Who else got to the Broncos? Either way it goes. All I'm saying is the stats made for the Broncos to look pretty strong, but you just saw a couple of times during the regular season that maybe they weren't just that busted. And now they've gone and fired John Fox 2 days later. Woo! They don't play about that losing stuff. Now, I haven't been looking at football as intently as I'm beginning to look at it now to be able to say if whether or not that was a right decision. On the one hand, you're like, the guy won 48 in the total being there. He won 48 games, lost 22. So basically, that's just like, roughly 70%. 7 out of 10 games this guy won, which is pretty nice. I mean, if you even this regular season, you made it into the playoffs in the number 1 seed if you won 12 wins and 4 losses. So that's 75%. So maybe folks are figuring, hey, with a team like the Broncos, you should have won one. You should have just got one. Yeah, I can see that. I can see some rationale like that. On the other hand, let's just think about it. You spent a mint on Peyton Manning. You're going to have to spend a mint on your receivers. You got to spend a mint on the offensive line because there's 5 of them. You got to spend a mint on the running back so that, Peyton Manning does have another option. And it just doesn't seem like Peyton runs the ball all that much. Now, I'm from Denver. Did I say that? Yeah, I said that. Whatever. I'm from Denver. And I remember those years growing up when the Broncos went in the 80s. And, I remember John Elway running. Now I guess Peyton wasn't running because he was a little bit hurt. But I remember John Elway trying to get that little shuffle going in his little, quarterback slide. Whatever. But anyway, it goes. All I'm saying is it is the day and age of the running quarterback, right? Like, I'm looking at the stats for rushing. And C.J. Anderson is like something like the top 13th, 16th best rusher in the game, right? Guess who the next guy is? Russell Wilson! What? Are you serious? That's right. That dude runs so much. The quarterback runs so much, he has literally made the top list of rushers in the game. And then you think about the fact that he has Marshawn Lynch and Turbin. But Marshawn Lynch, what? And that's if you have an evasive quarterback, there's just so much more that your team can do. Because so many downs get lost when the quarterback has to throw it away because he doesn't have any passing options. But when you have a guy that can run, it's just far more efficient. Okay? You don't have to invest as much in your offensive line. You want good receivers, absolutely, but you don't have to have the very best receivers to maximize the threat of your amazingly great throwing quarterback. If the quarterback can run, then you don't always have to have the best receivers in the world, the best running back in the world, because the quarterback can run. And honestly, that's what I saw when I saw Aaron Rodgers. That guy can move. I think it was when he beat the Patriots, I think. Was it the Patriots that he took down? Yeah, I think it was when he beat the Patriots. Yeah, that guy. Anyway, So that's all I'm saying. You can fire Fox, yeah, and I know John Elway likes Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning plays just like John Elway, or like John Elway used to, but it's a new day and age in football, fellas. Hiding in the pocket's just not going to get it done. That's my time, and that's my topic.